it going, everybody? Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Lincoln Park here. We got January the 9th, 2026. Let me check the weather here. We're at Fullerton and Clark. I always jump out here and I always get distracted. Yeah, 45 degrees here, so we'll head across Fullerton here. How you doing? And we'll cross Clark Street. Here's the Five Guys. We're 2400 north. Yeah, 45 degrees Fahrenheit. It was amazingly warm yesterday. I think we broke or tied the record. It was 60 degrees on January the 8th at midnight, or between the 8th and the 9th, when I guess that was this morning. So today we tied the record as well. The highest temperature was just after midnight. Here, let me turn on the comments here. So there's the John Hancock. There, we're about 2 miles north of that. So I'm just going to tootle around the neighborhood. I worked from home today, and we went at lunchtime. We went to the Chicago History Museum, and I was working from home. I said, what am I going to do for lunch? I could have the sun came out. It was kind of windy in the morning, so I didn't do a morning stream. I didn't do an evening stream last night because it was rainy and thunderstorming. Ernesto did. He caught some of the thunderstorm last night, and I saw Jennifer You Should Eat was streaming yesterday. But I just took the night off, and thanks for letting me have a rest here. So, but yeah, at lunchtime we went to the Chicago History Museum. I'm gonna go up to Arlington. I'm gonna see if there's still any Christmas lights on. Hey, GMJ, MNAP, how you doing there? Artem, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in here. Yeah, happy Friday. Yeah, we got January the 9th, 2026, 45 degrees Fahrenheit. What is that, about 5 degrees Celsius or more? And we'll cross Fullerton. So we'll just tootle around Lincoln Park. I'm going to see if there's still any Christmas lights out. We'll see if that house with the 14 Christmas trees is still lighting them up this far into January. So, if you're new to my channel, I just took a trip to Texas, and I know you're asking a question there. If you go to both my YouTube and TikTok, you'll see reruns, and you can tell where I've been if I stream other places in Chicago. We went to, before Christmas, we went to Hot Springs, Arkansas. We went to Hot Springs, Arkansas. We went to Dallas, Texas. We went to the Fort Worth Stockyards. We went to Houston. We went to Galveston. And then came back to Chicago. I live in Chicago, so most of my content's in Chicago. If you check out my content, please check out the reruns. I have 1,700 videos plus on YouTube. I have probably 3,500 short reruns on TikTok. I've had an account with thousands of videos and tens of thousands of followers deleted. TikTok has driven me away from their platform, so that's why I'm here on YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. I don't want to say refugee. I've been streaming on YouTube for over 2 years now. Brian Really Chicago here. We're on Clark Street. We got 5:10 in the PM here, Chicago Central Time, 45 degrees. I'm just going to tool around the neighborhood. I work from home today. Usually most of what I stream is I stream walking from work to home and vice versa. I do go to other neighborhoods. I got hundreds of videos from the south and west side. Please check out my reruns. I know I get criticized for always being in Lincoln Park, but it's where I live. A lot of people in Chicago don't like Lincoln Park because it's expensive, too white, and gentrified. But it was gentrified before I moved to Chicago in 1999. And I work downtown. I want to be able to walk to downtown, and I don't want to gentrify Pilsen. So send all the hate mail to BrianReallyChicago.com there. Brian Really Chicago. Hey, I'm used to it. So hey, yeah, Grandma's Corner, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in, Jeff. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you saw the museum there. Thanks, GMJ. Yeah, I had the shaky camera. I kicked myself. I did bring a gimbal. I brought an old gimbal that didn't work, and I didn't realize until I got to the museum that my gimbal wasn't my new one. And you know, it's hard to stream in museums. There's people there. You're just, you know, it's even worse when it's all shaky. Here's Gaslight, but yeah, we'll try to get some close. I'll go back there. I just wanted to refresh my memory of how much stuff is in there. We always walk by the outside of the History Museum in Chicago, and we finally went inside. Well, we went inside about 2 years ago, or a year ago. Here's Divvy Bike Station. This is Arlington, so this is Clark Street. There's the Basil Leaf Cafe. This is the Gaslight, Clark and Arlington, Lincoln Park, Chicago. And we'll walk down. This is a beautiful street. Yeah, it looks like people have already took down some of their Christmas decorations, so we'll just kind of walk around here. Yeah, hello there, Joe. How you doing? Margie. Yeah. Good. So here, look at this beautiful housing here. Look at the stained glass windows. You see how you got one porch is red, one porch is white. We got these beautiful stained glass windows. This 1890s residential housing here on Arlington Street. And yeah, this is a nice building here. They got a courtyard. I used to walk back in there. They gated it off, which is probably good. But it's kind of freaky. Shelter, so we might need that. It's not funny, I know. Here it's 525 Salvatore's here, 530 West Arlington here, Lincoln Park, Chicago. A lot of nice residential housing around here. You see people walking the dogs. Yeah, I posted that video of yesterday. We went to the Lincoln Park Zoo. There was a snow leopard, and it was out. It was sleeping when we walked by the first time. When I came back, there was a service dog, and it was in the Lincoln Park Zoo. I rarely see, you know, pets are not, you're not allowed to just take your dog in the Lincoln Park Zoo on a leash unless it's a service dog. And so the service dog was with its owner there at the snow leopard cage, and the dog saw the snow leopard, and the snow leopard saw the dog, and they had to stare down, and it was cute. And I'm glad that fence was there, because that snow leopard was ready to pounce, and I don't think that service dog stood a chance. But I'm sure that service dog was like, man, that's a big cat. Saw that snow leopard there and was trying to figure out, they were trying to figure out each other. It was great, so I posted that to YouTube and TikTok. But see, we got these nice courtyard buildings. Look at the fir trees they got in there. This is in Chicago. If you just tuned in here, we're in Arlington Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Belgium, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in. Remission. Oh, Joe, well, I'm glad you're in remission there. Yeah, I know so many people are dealing with cancers and treatments and, you know, chemo, radiation. Our hearts, thoughts go out to you. Hope the remission continues. Congratulations. I hope it's under control. Cancer affects all families and so many people. And it took my mom. My mom had ovarian cancer, and she hung in there until 2011. And you know how it goes with chemo. It's just, you feel like they have to kill you to kill the cancer, you know, and it's just pick your poison. But hey, we still got Christmas lights here on Arlington Street here, Lincoln Park, Chicago. And this is what I want to see. We're going to see who's got still some Christmas decorations. I know where the good Christmas decorations are, because all December and even November we were looking for them, and this was one of them. Look at those stained glass windows. See, the fixtures in these buildings are just amazing. You know, look how tall. These are single family residentials. Some of them, you know, most of them have garden apartments, but they're all owned by, they're on their own private lots. And this housing was all developed in the 1880s, late 1880s, early 1890s in Chicago. 2 thumbs up. Your mom went through that chemo. Yeah, Margie, I know. See, the cancer took your partner. Oh, sorry to hear that, Joe. Yeah, see, it's, and you know, even people that we know, you know, and here's that used to tune in. Here's Geneva Terrace in Arlington, and yeah, it's such a beautiful street here. There was a wonderful hostel here, but it closed down, and I don't know what it's going to do. There's some people sitting there. Let me cross the street so I can show you this hostile. Arlington's one way. Yeah, we'll cross you. See, this is Geneva Terrace. Geneva Terrace becomes Larrabee as you cross Fullerton. No, as you it doesn't become Larrabee until you cross Webster down by Oz Park. But see, this used to be a hostel. It was called the Chicago Getaway Hostel, but it closed down. And it made it through the pandemic. It was open latest last year. Yeah, but it's just not. I bet it's probably going to become housing. They'll redevelop it for an apartment building, I'm sure, unless it becomes another hotel. So hey, if you just joined, we're on Arlington Street. This is Lincoln Park, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. We have about 45 degrees. We got 5:17 in the PM. If you like this content, please hit the thumbs up there. It helps people find this content. I'm a Chicago streetwalker. We walk around. It's a bunch of us walk around. I live in Lincoln Park, so I worked from home today, so I'm being lazy. It's a Friday night. Hey, we got that Bears game coming up there tomorrow night. People are getting excited. Bears are going to host the Green Bay Packers. This is the third time. No. Yeah, this will be the third time they met in the playoffs, because usually either Green Bay would be in the playoffs and the Bears wouldn't, or the Bears would be in the playoffs, you know, further back, and the Green Bay wouldn't. And the NFC North almost had three teams in the Detroit. If Detroit possibly could have made the playoffs too. Got 2 wild cards in the division leader. But yeah, the first time that, oh, look, see, we got rain overnight, so there are some stopped up drains. I know some of the streets were flooded. I saw some of the footage. We're in Lincoln Park, Chicago. All over Chicago, we got about almost 2 inches of rain last night. Again, rain on January the 8th, not snow. It got to 60 degrees in Chicago at midnight. The high temperature was at midnight. All this air rushed up from the Gulf, and a lot of the Michigan was warm, and Ohio and Indiana and Illinois. It's amazing. Didn't last, because now we're back to 45 degrees. But yeah, we got some rain overnight. Ernesto, Chicago Nuggies, was streaming. There was thunder and lightning and a lot of rain, and hopefully you didn't get flooded if you're in a garden apartment. We see how we got a lot of rain and wind. It was really windy too. So here, look at these beautiful buildings here. We're on Arlington Street here, Lincoln Park, Chicago. We're almost to Orchard in Arlington. You can look on a map there. We're north of Fullerton, which is 2400 north in Chicago here. Yeah, wash the car. Yeah, it's the temperature to wash the car. Yeah, we had snow in November and December, and everybody's car's dirty after. So hey, get out and wash the car. It's a good idea. Go to the car wash. We'll sing the disco song. But hey, here's some Christmas decorations. I'm seeing if there's still any Christmas. Yeah, there's still some here. So Orchard Street. See, we're seeing evidence of the flood. Look at all this mud. I saw that one of the tunnels that I usually walk through in Lincoln Park going to the zoo. It was all flooded and muddy because the drains stop up. There's St. Clement's Church there. They got the tree there. Yeah, look at all the... That's another reason I didn't stream last night or this morning. I didn't want to get all wet, damage my equipment, slip, wade through the knee-deep water. You had to rake some leaves. Still raking leaves. We're raking leaves in January. That's what kind of winter it is. But here we're on Orchard Street here in Lincoln Park, Chicago. How's everybody doing? These are beautiful buildings. There's like 3 buildings in a row that are like the same. Look at these row houses. This is Orchard Street north of Fullerton. Fullerton and Arlington are historic districts because they have houses like this, built in the late 1880s, early 1890s. It's just the classic, you know, brownstones, gray stones, whatever you want to call them. Combinations, Queen Anne style. Look at those eaves and gables. I don't know, you know, there are a few Victorians, like the what I call the psychedelic Barbie house. Look at that's on Sedgwick. Look at that. That's a psychedelic window. I like that stained glass window, and that's probably vintage from when it was built. See how these are? It's very similar. Hey, let's see if there's any holiday lights here. No whammies, no whammies. Big bucks. Kanye voice. Yeah, who's got the Kanye voice? Not me. Yeah, Chicago was the windy city last night, and this morning the winds were howling. That's why I didn't live stream this morning. The rain had stopped, but we had like 28 to 30 5-mile-per-hour gust. And, you know, I tried to live stream in the wind accidentally, like when I was walking to work, just to get to work and it'd be windy. And every third comment's like, we can't hear you because of the wind, because I don't have like the special mic, the furry mic, you know, that pinned to your lapel there. But, so I can stream in the snow. I can stream in light drizzle, but when it rains sideways, count me out. We'll take the night off, and that's what we did. Had that sideways. Ernesto was streaming in it. Watch his reruns. He said he got pretty wet. I think Jennifer, she saw there was like a car like in Lincoln Park. It was just sitting there, and she was like, she was worried about it. And hopefully, I think the guy drove out. But here's Belmont Village. Yeah, that would freak me out too. I always, when you live stream, you always come across dilemmas like, you know, you'll come across something, you have to decide if you get involved or not. And then people in the chat will be like, giving you, say, like, telling you what to do, like, you should do this, you should do that, and you're like, come on. And if you don't, they like shame you. You know, it's very hard. But here we're at Orchard Street in Fullerton. Yeah, these are really nice houses down this way. Here's the St. Paul's United Church of Christ, and here's where the Children's Hospital used to be in Chicago. How you doing? And we'll head over this way. Oh, she did. She told the. I think that's when I turned off. I saw she saw a police officer, and then people were saying like Karen and like why you do that, and I was like, I'm getting off because I know exactly like the conundrum she was in. No matter what she did, if she didn't tell the cops, people said you should have told the cops, or some people in the chat, and other people would be like, why'd you call the cops? Are you Karen? They called me a Karen too. You know, men can be Karens too. I know. Here's So yeah, they still got the Christmas lights here. This is the Lincoln Common. Is that what they call this? Lincoln Square? No, Lincoln Common. Lincoln Common. It actually has hours. But they got a nice little plaza over here. We'll see if it's still lit. Yeah, they got this sculpture to the kids doing the whip or the merry-go-round or ring around the rosies, whatever this is. So, hey Sarah, let's see. Great Blackness, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in. Tennessee's tuning in. Oh, you saw some of Ernesto's? Yeah, I think he was going up Michigan Avenue. I saw it as rerun. I didn't see his live, I saw his reruns. But yeah, I took the night off last night. I watched the news. I guess there's some more footage from the Minneapolis thing. It doesn't really clear anything up. I think it was the footage from the ICE officer that fired the 3 fatal shots. I think they're posting it to defame the woman, because now I understand the sequence of events. I couldn't understand from the first video, and I don't want to dwell on this. I'll try to talk about as neutral as possible. I'm not going to get emotional, because I am emotional about it, but people privately know what I think about it. But I got to be careful here on the public forums here. But yeah, talking about the Minneapolis shooting, I guess there's some new footage from the cell phone of the ICE officer that fired the 3 fatal shots into Renee Nicole Goods person there. And you could see in the video her partner was out of the car. Now it makes more sense. And the dog, you could see the dog in the back. There was a dog in the back seat. This is the Minneapolis ICE shooting. Here we're at, if you just joined, we're in Chicago. This is the Christmas tree in the Lincoln Common here. This is Lincoln Street. But yeah, I think they released it because they want to further demonize the victim. You know, they were interacting with the ICE officers, and it's haunting because you can get a clear picture of Renee in her last moments of life. She was smiling, and they told them they told them they were U.S. citizens, and it happened really quick, and that's why the window in her. But then her partner went back to get in the car, and that's right when the incident happened. But you can't tell from the video, at least I can't get any more information about the sequence of events, about if the ICE officer's life was in danger or not, and that's the whole dispute. And I guarantee, I'll make one bold prediction: if people were okay with what ICE was doing before this video, they'll still be okay with the shooting. If people were against ICE before, they'll be even more against ICE. I don't see anybody changing their opinion on anything, and that's the nature of our divided country right now. And that's why I got to be careful, because I'll get people yelling at everybody, and people don't want to talk about this. A lot of people tune in to get a distraction from the news, so I just talk about the Christmas lights in the street and stuff going on in Chicago and things like the Bears game that we can all just. So I'll try to keep calm. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Where you at? Where you at? Oh, you're right there. Where you at? I can't tell where your voice is at. It's echoing off the building. Hello. Somebody said hello, and I can't tell where their voice is coming from. So when you live stream a lot, you're confused. I think somebody from the windows or the buildings said hello. I think this is a Louis Sullivan building, but it's like a really early one, so it's not really, they don't have it on the architectural record or anything. It's probably just somebody driving by in the car. A lot of times people drive by in the car and they'll give a shout out. Hey, welcome to Chicago. Here we're on Lincoln, the six-way intersection of Lincoln, Beldon, and Orchard Street, and we're gonna see if there's any Christmas decorations still out. I know Christmas is over, everybody's tired of it, but it's just easy way me. I just want to veg. I just want to ease into the weekend, watch that Bears game tomorrow. It's going to be a nasty day tomorrow. It's going to be rain mixing into snow. It's going to be like windy with like 10-degree wind chills. A perfect winter game, January, for the Bears to host the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, it's going to be nasty. And we'll if it was a better weather day, I might be motivated to go down to see people tailgating and try to live stream it. There's two problems. The weather's going to be horrible, and the cell phone connection for the data connection around Soldier Field is horrible. And there might be you can watch the other Chicago live streamers. I'm sure somebody will be down there covering some, people going in and out. Or somebody might be going to the game. I think Jody GTV's gone to a Bears game. There might be people live streaming the game. Here, let's cross the street here. So here, this is Lincoln, six-way intersection. There's all the DePaul stuff down this way. Here's Halligan's. See, we're at Orchard and Beldon. And this is a nice bar here, Halligan's, this corner bar. There's the Hook and Ladder bar. There's a lot of nice, there's Brando's. You say hello to Ed Ray. You can go down to the tarot card reading place, the King of Cups. Hey, it's just, here's your Christmas tree. Look, it got blown over. I guess with the wind, it kind of blew it over. Here's your leaning Christmas tree of Pisa right here at the corner of, at the Halligan's here. Hello, how you doing there, Scott? Your old school NFL football weather. That's it. You got it. We're going to have and that's what I was talking about before. So I think this is the, let's go this way. Let's go down Beldon here. We'll go down Beldon. I think this will be the third time that the Bears and the Packers have met in the playoffs. The first time was like in 1941. It was like World War II. And there wasn't even a Super Bowl then. It was, the Bears and the Packers are two of the oldest, if not the oldest, NFL franchises in both leagues. But that's why they're in the National League. National League's older than the American League. And so the National League Championship used to be the Super Bowl. And then when they started the Super Bowl, when they expanded a bunch of teams and created the other conference, the AFC, and that's how we get all this Super Bowl. But then I think the second time they met was in 2007. It was in the 2000s. So hey, it's a rare playoff meeting of the Chicago Bears and Green Bay Packers here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Time Zone. It's going to be a cold, nasty, windy, snowy, weird day. Maybe I should live stream it. We'll see what I feel like. I'm going to meet some people from breakfast tomorrow. I think we're going to go up to Stella's. Hey, this is one of my favorite houses we've discovered all this Christmas season, 2025. I know it's 2026 from last year. This is on Beldon Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. We're west of Lincoln. We're heading towards Halstead. And I like this even more than the house with all the 14 Christmas trees, because that's beautiful and that's stunning. But this one, I like the color of it. It's kind of like an old time It's kind of like an old time Christmas ornaments. Yeah, we should be used to it. We're used to the nasty weather. It's perfect. We wouldn't have it any other way. I would be a true diehard Bears fan there, tailgating all afternoon and then sitting outside in 10-degree wind chills. And it's going to be fun. That's why they should have the Super Bowl one year in a cold weather climate. I want to see the billionaires sit there shivering. Here's, so hey, welcome to Lincoln Park. Welcome to Chicago. Here we're on Beldon Street. Look at this. We still got the Christmas lights on. Not only they got them up, they got them turned on. And we're January the 9th, 2026. But hey, we'll take it. And look at that. There's people walking here. We'll wait till they go by. But hey, look at that. They got the star up there. See, I like the tiers. You got the blue and the green and all the reds here. They got these ornaments here. Got the candy canes. They got the little cups here. You see, it's like gumdrops. And then they got the elf on the shelf there with all the gifts. So, hey, Christmas in January. We'll just keep going here. Why stop? Very nice. Hey, Sean is tuning in. Dolores. Yeah, how's everybody doing? Alvin. Yeah, McHands Daniel. USA. You don't like USA? Come on. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of Americans that are pretty worried about America too. So I understand what you mean. America. This is what. Why am I critical? Yeah, everybody's a critic, but I don't want us to be like imperialist. I don't want us to be jingoistic. I don't want us to be, get involved in World War III, and we're pissing off our allies. I mean, I'm not doing it. It's this current administration. I'm sure I'll get blamed for it. They gaslight, say it's all my fault. I'm a hippie. In the event of war, I'm a hostage. That was the old joke. Here's Beldon. This is Halstead. So Halstead goes up Boys Town that way. You go that way, you get to West Loop, go all the way down to Bridgeport, go all the way down to Inglewood. Halstead runs all the way to the southern border, one of the major north-south streets in Chicago, along with Western and Ashland. Halstead, major north-south streets here. And we're about 2300 north here on Beldon, just south of Fullerton, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Now we're going backwards. We're unwinding all the goodwill we built. Who helped create the United Nations, the United States after World War II? Who helped who is currently dismantling the United Nations, the United States? Why? I'm for multilateralism. I'm not for unilateralism. Just we stronger countries taking advantage of weaker countries. It's going to come back to haunt us. Spheres of influence. What China, Russia, and the United States are going to carve up the world. That didn't end up well the last time we tried that out with imperialism and the empires, which Japan wanted to have an empire too. And how did that turn out? And the United States wanted to have an empire too. Talk to the Philippines and the Cuba and Central America, and we got Puerto Rico, and the United States did buy the Virgin Islands from the Denmark. That was a different situation. And so hey, here's Beldon Street. Yeah, look at the trees here. This is Beldon and Dayton Street. Is this Dayton Street? Yeah, let's go to Fremont. Yeah, this is McCormick Row House. This is DePaul University's all over here. Here's some of the, used to be the seminary, and then there's the music hall there, or the music center for DePaul University. Yeah, joking around. Yeah, from Russia with love. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I just hope we don't go into a second Cold War, or whatever. It's just something's changing, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as they think it's going to be to do whatever they're doing. Yeah, these kind of look like London. They call these the McCormick Row houses. And again, we're on Beldon Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. There was a seminary, so I think they used it for housing for that. It was built in probably the 1880s. And this whole area, well, The area south here was all destroyed by the Great Chicago Fire. There really wasn't anything here. That's the Skeletones' house. They were decorated for Christmas, but I think they took their decorations down. I just want to show you these stained glass windows. Look at those stained glass windows here in the McCormick Row houses. So like the Ann Halstead row houses have these. They would do those big bay windows, or they're not bay windows, the big arch windows. Stained glass there. You know what's causing the current just basic greed and ambition, You know, we invaded a country to take the oil, right? It wasn't for democracy or freedom, or was it even for the Venezuelan people? The claim is they're going to get rich and we're going to get rich. That sounds like socialism to me, right? But no, someone's going to get rich. It's just not going to be the people they're saying is going to get rich. Anybody says, well, let us control the resources. Okay. Think about it. I'm not trying to get all philosophical and communist and Buddhist on you here. You just, they say, oh, we're against socialism. But then all these corporations are chipping in to build the ballroom. And, it's not a bribe. They're doing it out of patriotism. Yeah, right. They're doing it to influence the current administration, get business deals. But hey, the Supreme Court says that's okay. These are all reasons why America's not as great as we say it is. It's great. Is America great because it's rich? Is America great because it has a strong military? Or is America great because it had ideals that actually stood for something larger than just wealth and privilege and exclusion? Do we want to really turn America into a country club? These are the questions I ask myself every night. And it's hard. It's very hard to watch the images coming out of Minneapolis. It's not just what happened to Renee Good. There's other disturbing images daily coming out of there, and it's almost like they want to cause a incendiary incident to call in the National Guard or the military. So hey, we'll have troops in Venezuela. We'll have troops in Minneapolis. We filmed the 1968 Democratic Convention history stuff there at the History Museum. We filmed the person giving the tour guide was talking about Operation WETBACK, a real CIA operation in the 1950s that they think estimates removed 1 million people from Mexico that migrated to the United States in the 20s, 30s, 40s when the United States needed labor in the World War II especially, and but also the 20s and the Great Depression, the migrants working the farms. And some of those deported were U.S. citizens at that time. Isn't that amazing? And why is this taught in history books? I did not know this until I researched what we're going through now. There's parallels, and she was talking about it when we were at the History Museum. It was chilling. We're like, this has happened before. It happened again. You mean there's a reason America at one point was so white? Yeah, there was a reason. We know this. And the black and white divide was because of slavery, and then the America doesn't melt. The melting pot's a myth. Did America melt after the Civil War and Reconstruction failed? No, people still. There was a racial divide that continued, and then we had migration. The way the people that migrated to this country changed over time. It was initially largely from Europe, including up until World War I. They excluded people from Asia. There was actually acts called the Asian Exclusion Act. They removed, prior to the westward expansion, there was the Indian Removal Act, 1830. The Indian Removal Act removed several Native American nations. This is true genocidal diaspora stuff. That you worry about the Uyghurs in China, and you worry about Palestinian genocide. Well, it happened here, and talk to indigenous people, Native Americans that still persist, still exist, and still tune in right here. We got people in our community, and we're all America means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. That's the real question. So here, welcome to Chicago, welcome to Webster, and I think we're on Fremont. Let's cross the street here. We got a stop sign, and we'll head over to Bissell Street. We'll go near the L tracks here, and there's a nice little strip of bars here. We're in Lincoln Park, Chicago, Webster Street. Got about 45 degrees here Friday night, January the 9th, 2025. Philomena. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, we got to talk about history. I mean, that's, you know, I was reminded of it, and there was displays that talked about all this at the Chicago History Museum, because Chicago lived through these periods as well, back to the Potawatomi and the colonial period, the French colonial, you know, Joliet Marquez, Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, and then the British, and then the Americans, and the Potawatomi had to move across to Council Bluffs there near Omaha in Iowa. There was also Chief Black Hawk, who was Mukatamasho Kayak. He was Sauk and Fox tribes or nations, and Abraham Lincoln fought against him, but he didn't see conflict. That was the 1833 Black Hawk War. There's the red line. No, that's the brown line. That's the brown line heading north there. Hey, caught you by surprise. There's the brown line heading north, going up to oh no, it said Howard. I guess it was the red line. I'm colorblind. Here's the Foxtrot. So this this was a Foxtrot, then it went away, and then it came back, I think, right? Or is this a new Foxtrot? There's the, there's a brown line heading south. I can see that one. That's a brown line. We're at Webster and Bissell here. Go to the Home Slice. Go to Home Slice. They're decorated nice. This is the little Webster bar DePaul strip here. Now, if you want to, if we need it further, here's the sushi, the rotary sushi here. If we needed more evidence, how you do? If we needed more evidence that here's the rotary sushi here. Look at that. I'm filming through the window here. Sushi, that's all. Yeah, it's rotary. Look at that. How you doing? Here. So if we needed further evidence that people aren't drinking as much, I used to drink here all the time. I don't drink anymore either. I stopped drinking because I was an alcoholic. Hopefully I'm beyond it. McGee's is closed. This is McGee's here on Webster, Lincoln Park, Chicago, and people aren't drinking as much. People don't go to bars. This bar is pretty full. This is Kelly's Pub. This is a good DePaul bar. See, they got the Blue Demons here. There's the mother church for DePaul University. So there's they rebuilt it in like 1900, but there's the DePaul Church for DePaul University. This is at Webster and Halstead. No, Webster and Sheffield, excuse me. Webster and Sheffield here. And here, let's head back to Bissell Street. Kelly's Pub, 75th anniversary. Right here underneath the L tracks here. Webster Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Yeah, but that's a good rotary sushi there. Yeah, nice architecture. Yeah, it's so expensive. I think that has something to do with it too. Good point. People drink less because we can't afford to. I mean, one of the reasons I stopped drinking is I couldn't afford it either, and that was in 2007. It's much more expensive now. And when I was in college, I didn't realize how lucky we had in the 90s because gas was cheap. Gas was under 99 cents a gallon, and we would go get we get a 6-pack of Milwaukee's Best for $2.99 a 6-pack. Get a 12-pack for $4.99. $5 would get you 12 beers. You get drunk fast, and hopefully not drive home. Here, let's go by Bissell here. So the Illinois Masonic Hospital, that's you're right, that's on Sheffield, but it's up by Wellington. So there's the Wellington stop. It looks like that, yeah, the Wellington stop on the brown and purple lines is where the Illinois Masonic So that's a red line. And the reason I like coming here, there's 3 train lines. There's 4 tracks, 2 north, 2 south, 3 train lines that use this, and it's very heavily traveled with trains at rush hour here because the red, purple, and brown all go on that same little stretch of track there heading north. and down to the Loop and beyond. Yeah, let's put a little love in our hearts. Thanks, Alvin. We'll stay positive. The world always seems bleak, but we got to remain hopeful. It's always tragedy after tragedy, and we got to find a way to overcome, get along, overcome our differences. Somehow we got to bridge this political divide. We got to be friends, not enemies. We got to agree to disagree and somehow find a way to coexist. I don't want the United States to devolve in civil war. It hurts my heart to see that. That's why I think this tragedy in Minneapolis is affecting us, because we knew it was bad when it was affecting the people that weren't full citizens the most. But now it's affecting Americans versus Americans, and that's why a lot of people, minorities in color, they're saying it's even a white woman, and that's significant, because trust me, the news might not have covered it as much. Just like people notice, indigenous people, indigenous women and women of color notice this too, that if a good-looking white woman gets assaulted, it often makes the news, especially if it's in Lincoln Park. But how many times indigenous people, Latinas, black women get assaulted and it doesn't even go reported, and it just shows you, it's the biases in our societies persist to our media, and we know this, Hey, look at that. There's but this is Bissell Street. Look at these amazing, they got a lot of 6 flats, 4 flats, and even 9 flats here. These beautiful multi-family houses on Bissell Street here. And here we'll get the elevated train here. See if we can get it here. There it is. Yeah, we'll get it through between the buildings there. There's the red line heading north, Chicago, Illinois. We got 5:48 p.m. here, 45 degrees, Friday night. Sights and sounds of the city. How's everybody doing? Memorials, pavement, yeah. Yep, I'm glad the UK and the United States are still close allies, and I hope it remains. I know I would mistakenly say it was a tribute to Winston Churchill, but he was quoting another British, and whose name? Oh, I just stepped on some water thing here. Yeah, look at this. There's like water underneath there. Yeah, see, it pushes out the water when you walk on top of it. There, we'll get the train. Here's the red line. So if you're looking for real estate prices, you can go to web pages like Zillow or apartments.com, and you can put in, I know the zip code for this area is 60614. So if you type in 60614 and just go to ChatGPT and say, what's the average rent in Lincoln Park, Chicago, zip code 60614. If you just type it into a chat box, or go to Google, and Google, if you put a question, you put like why, or how much is, ask it like a question, usually it'll recognize and it'll send you to the AI, and it's amazing what it comes up with. See, we're living in the future. We don't even have to think anymore. Some people think I'm a chat box. I'm a human chat box, the old-fashioned kind, analog. Here's look at this place is so patriotic. They keep that flag up there year-round. You should see this place looks like at 4th of July. But here's the Lincoln Park here. We're on Bissell, and we're down at Dickens and Bissell. This beautiful housing here. That's why I am fortunate to live in Lincoln Park. I pay high rent. I only have a 1-bedroom. I don't have a car. I don't have a yard. I live near Lincoln Park, so that's my yard. It's got a big lake in it. I walk to work. I take the train, take the bike, but we walk a lot in the age of live streaming. We talk about stuff happening. We talk about the Bears, the Bulls, the Blackhawks. Blackhawks had a winning streak, but then I don't know what happened. I need to. Jeremy's got season tickets, I think. Here's the. Yeah, see, there's the brown line. Heading south there. Yeah, thanks, Grandma's Corner. Subscribe and hit the thumbs up if you like this. You don't have to like Chicago. You can just like that. We're just taking a nice stroll here through a beautiful neighborhood on a beautiful night for January. Any day above freezing is a good day in Chicago. And we got to 60 degrees yesterday and thunderstorm. We're going to pay for it tomorrow at that Bears game. It's going to be 10-degree wind chills and sleet and snow. wintry mix, rain, the most cold rain. It'll be 33 degrees and raining. That's usually what we get. Nah, it's not LA. Nobody walks in LA. It's Chicago. Hardly anybody walks in Chicago, but a few people do. There's the train. There it is. Look at that. It's going slow. See, sometimes you get the people. If we zoom in, you can see people in there. And that's what's so amazing about when you ride the elevated there. You're like right in the window. You see people like having dinner, like working on the internet. You know, like you go past office windows. You're like right at their same level. It's like an interesting way to view the city. And we do that. That's why I stream from the train sometimes. I just sit on the train and stream out the window and annoy everybody on the train by answering people's comments. The best is if you can get the last window looking out the back or the front, you can look down the tracks like you feel like you're driving the train. And there you go. Thanks for helping out with the 2,100 to 2,900 for a one bedroom. That's about right. I pay over $2,000. When I first moved here, I had a studio and it was $500 a month. The person before that had it for $400 a month. They raised it and I was like, you screwing me over. And then I moved into a one bedroom. It was $800, and then it went to $1,000. I was like, I can't believe I pay $1,000, and then now I pay like double that. So, but here we're on. This is Armitage and Bissell Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. So this is probably the most historic commercial strip in Lincoln Park here along Armitage. It's actually. How you doing? Hey, thanks. Happy New Year. How you doing? That's good. Yeah. See, look. Hey, friends and neighbors here. See, that's why I like doing this. I do feel more connected to my fellow Chicagoans and sure Chicagoans all over the globe. People from Australia said, I used to live in Chicago. I'm in Australia now. See, look at the look at these turrets, the windows, the bay windows, the round turrets there without the hats. This is Armitage Street, and if we go this way, there's the Old Town School of Folk Music, and yeah, there's some Christmas lights. You see the Peruvian connection. This is the Armitage stop on the purple and brown lines. The red doesn't stop here. It goes express to Fullerton, and then it goes into the subway. A lot of times we walk down there and see where it goes down to subway, but what time we got? 5:54. I'm just going to start heading back here. It's Friday. We'll just take a nice, easy stroll here. Thanks for tuning. I know you guys got stuff to do, and but I'll probably going to take it easy tomorrow. And if I stream anything, it'll be walking back from Stella's. We'll just do it on TikTok. It takes care of itself with the sub-only chat or the super fan. What's this? Paper Source. Yeah, the Paper Source. They got all kinds of stationery and books and stuff here. It's right on Armitage here, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Yeah, see, they got these boutiques like the Black Tux, you know, Jenny Kane, you know, Charlie Trotters used to be over here. Here's the Old Town School of Folk Music, and there's a larger one up in Lincoln Square north of here, but the original one started on North Avenue, but then it burnt down or something, so they moved it here. And the first one, Pete Seeger and Mahalia Jackson sang there. Real legendary folk gurus there. So Old Town School of Folk Music. This is Armitage here, Lincoln Park, Chicago. How's everybody doing? Newcastle, England. How you doing? Like the flag there. Yeah, the Bears game. Oh yeah. So, you know, we'll see what the weather's like tomorrow. If I get motivated, who knows? But it's if the weather's bad, that doesn't help out the cell tower reception. Soldier Field's notoriously bad for even people can't even text. They got these hotspot tents. Everybody knows, go Soldier Fields know what I'm talking about. You have to go to these hotspot tents to get internet. Do they have internet, Soldier Field? Is there like Wi-Fi you can tap into? That would be nice. I guess if you're part of the VIP club or something. Good night from Scotland. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Irene. Appreciate it. Yeah, look at this. They got the soap here. So this is Lush. They got all the handmade cosmetics. How you doing?
Hey.
How you doing? Hey, I'll just Walking down Armitage here, Aesop, and hey, we got Serena and Lily, and we got Warby Parker. Hey, it's a nice night, 45 degrees. Oh, you got your Lush order? You got the bath bombs. Hey, get the bath bombs from Lush. I like the colorful soap. What is this? Levain Bakery here. Very nice. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Thanks for saying hello. See, Levain Bakery. Right here on Armitage. Bonobos. I can never pronounce things right. I like the nice stained glass here. And yeah, Don Pez. Go to Don Pez Fish Tacos right there. Right on Armitage. Here's a 3-story, well, it's 3-level Walgreens. It's a basement. Airbirds. What is this? Airbirds. The shoes? Is that what this is? Airbirds right here on, I like the windows. Look at those windows. That looks nice. Rails. Huckleberry. I'll be your Huckleberry. Yeah, I got clothing stores here. Huckleberry. Walgreens. Nadam. Oh, I got ski gear, clothes. Hello, Chicago. Yeah, go to your Huckleberry there. Interior Define. Yeah, get your furniture. So hey, we're at Armitage. Is this Dayton Street? It must be Dayton Street. Look at, see, that one still has his hat. So a lot of these used to have the hats, then they lopped them off. But that's what that's a real turret. That's a turret on the side of the building. See this pole? This is Lincoln Park, Chicago. This historic district on Armitage. It leads right back to the train station. See the train pulling out there. It's all birds. No, there's always something to do. That's why we took a trip down to Texas. I never thought I'd have a good time in Texas, but my sister lives there, so we take a trip there usually twice a year, and so we find fun stuff in Texas. And the weather was great. It was 80 degrees. Went down to Galveston, and we stopped at the stockyards in Fort Worth and Dallas. I did some live streaming in Dallas. Took the Dallas Dart. I timed it to the Dallas music. Check it out. Yeah, it's on TikTok. Who remembers the Dallas theme song? I was riding the train there. I used the Dallas JR. Who shot JR? It was me. All the if any younger people tuning in, you're like, what is he talking about? There's Top Drawer. Yeah, there's Byline Bank. There's the Old National Bank. See, it looks like we're in Boston or something. Welcome to Lincoln Park. Dallas, yeah, you remember Dallas? Yeah, check it out. Go to my YouTube. I got 2 videos where we ride the Dallas Dart. It's the Dallas Area Rapid Transit. The red line. It's or green line, the red line. They got all color coded just like Chicago. Their map kind of, it's funny they use the color coded, looks similar. But yeah, it starts out with me talking, and then I sped it up at the end and timed it to that music. It was fun. Here's the Marquee Lounge. Yeah, we saw a Schlitz Tide House when we took that Amtrak through the south side. That was nice. We got footage of that too. Here's Marquee Lounge here. And yeah, very George. Yeah, it looks like Georgetown. I've live streamed in Georgetown, Washington D.C. I was there not this fall, last fall. We went on the steps. We went on the Exorcist steps. I got reruns. We live streamed the Exorcist steps. There was a pool of blood at the bottom. It was like somebody put it there. And we interacted with people going up and down their stairs. And yeah, Georgetown. I like Georgetown, Washington, D.C. It's very nice. Here, Novak, Cornerstone. So hey, that's Halstead. We just crossed Halstead. We're on Armitage here. So now we're 2,000 north, and about, I don't know, 800, 900 west. See you Monday. Yeah, thanks, Gene. Have a good weekend. Yeah, I need to make a confession. I go to all these Catholic churches. I feel bad. Okay, so I filmed the one in Galveston, and it's beautiful. It's one, it's right across from the Bishop's Palace. Okay, it's the main Broadway there, palm trees, sunny day. I got inside. They were doing baptisms. I shouldn't have been in there, but I snuck in there, and the guy gave me the stink eye, but I filmed it anyway, and it was beautiful. I did the rerun. I did it right at the wrong time. Of course, go ahead. The Buddhist monks are marching from Texas through the South all the way to Washington, D.C. Well, some other Catholic church apparently, and I looked it up, and it had a similar name, Church of Sacred Heart, but it was on a different other side of Houston, but it was the same archdiocese, whatever. And so I posted that church, and people assumed that church, because that news broke, had the same name. They're like, how dare you post a picture of this Catholic church? This is the church that called the cops on the monks. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know. I'm not Catholic. I don't go to this church. You know, my dad's side's Catholic, but even my dad's not Catholic. He went to Catholic school, but he gave it up. And because of the Vietnam War, it's a long story. But and then so the video went viral. It didn't really go viral. It became, you know, if I was in the Creator Fund, I would have made money off of it. But I'm not anymore because they kicked me out. And so, and it was like most of the comments were about the Buddhist monks, and people just started bashing the Catholic Church, and I'm like, would the Buddhist monks do this? You know? And then I finally found what the source material was, and there was several people. Is anybody surprised in the age of Trump and ICE? Is anybody surprised in the age of Trump and ICE that somebody in Texas would call the cops if they saw a bunch of Buddhist monks camped on the side of the road with RVs? The local sheriff there, he said he heard several, and let me keep walking down the street here. I think the guys they're just standing there. So I thought they were going to go away. I want to film these Christmas lights, but we'll wait till the kid. I don't want to have that scream in the background. Somebody be like, "What if we do a rerun again?" But eventually, people realized it wasn't that church, and some people did apologize. They were like, "We thought this was the church to call." I'm like, "No, it's not this." I'm like, you know, it was like this social justice warrior machine, and now I understand. It's like how people get canceled and misunderstandings, and your face is in the news, and that's going to happen to me one day. I'm going to post a video, and they'll be like, Brian Riley Chicago's in jail because he posted a video of something he shouldn't. And I'm like, what? You know, I'll lose my job. But hey, here we're in. This is, there's the house with all the Christmas trees. So look at the beautiful Christmas decorations here. We're on. This is Beldon Street. This is Beldon Street south of Arlington. This is Beldon Street south of Armitage, Lincoln Park, Chicago. And these really large houses here. They a lot of tear down rebuilds on this street. They have 5 lots wide, 7 lots wide, with side yards. And then this is the house that has the 14 Christmas trees in the window. I know we filmed it before. Look at that. This one's nice. Look how nice that looks. See, just nice, simple Christmas decorations here, Beldon Street. And it's January the 9th. You know, these people still got all the lights on. ComEd loves this. Happy Friday there. Yeah, Tombot, how you doing there? Good evening. Izzy. Jack James. Yeah, look at these lights. So this used to be the Perillo mansion, but they sold it. We talked about it, and there's somebody that lives here. There's the house with the 14 Christmas trees. So we'll check it out here. There might be somebody tuning in that hasn't even seen this, but I think a lot of the Chicago live streamers cruise by here. Even 4700 southbound, they usually film from their car on the south and west side, but they came up here and got some images of this. They even came to the north side to film this. That's a great. So here's the house in Lincoln Park with the 14 Christmas trees here. It's on Beldon Street. Yeah, stunning houses. Yeah, look at this one. See, I think the house itself is at least 3 lots, 4, 5, 6, 7. They got 2 with the house on the center 3, and it goes back there. See, this is like a double lot. So this is 2 lots. They got 14 windows, 15 with the door. But there's a Christmas tree in every window. And we'll go across the street to show you what it looks like across the street here. It's really nice. There is some on the top. They don't have the top, so they only got the bottom 9. This is interesting. So yeah, at least we got footage. Before Christmas, they had all 14. So now they get just at the bottom there. But there are 5 on the top and the smaller windows. Hey, how you doing? Very nice. So hey, we'll keep going. Burling Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Yeah, these are nice homes. Yeah, Iran's going through some turbulent times. There's massive protests, riots in the street. They're out of electricity. They're running out of water. The Ayatollah Khomeini won't relinquish power, and yeah, we wish a better situation for the people of Iran, Persia, and same with Venezuela. I don't know how this is all going here. We got to have loftier oil aims just for, you know, strategic dominance through oil. You know, the military runs on oil, so it's like a, I don't know. America was afraid the Russians or Chinese would get Venezuela, so they said we're going to steal it first. And I'm joking. Here's it's not funny, I know, but I'm still walking. There's an alley here we can cut over to Orchard Street, and we'll check out. There's some more Christmas decorations, or at least there was. But hey, look at that! The burning bush, the 2 burning bushes on the side of the trees, or the house there. Very Parisian, yeah. I feel like Ulysses' Odyssey there. Very Parisian there. Yeah, look at that. Better Homes and Gardens there. See, some of these have garages. It's like they got the lights up there. So I need to find this alley behind this school we can cut over here. Hey, Becky Davies, how you doing? Mike Skellington. Electric car credits. Yeah, isn't it? You're gonna flood the world with cheap oil, but and you know, can I talk about global warming? It was 60 degrees this morning at midnight in Chicago on January the 8th. You know, they can't talk about global warming. I know it's gonna get really cold tomorrow. It's gonna be up and down, up and down. It's gonna make us sick. It's gonna be below freezing and then 70 degrees the next day. Like Denver has that sometimes. The Front Range there, they'll get like 50-degree temperature swings in like hours, you know, when those fronts blow up and over. Yeah, the lamps, lava lamps. So bear with me, we'll walk around. Hey, we got a nice view to the Sears Tower here, so let's look down here through the trees. And here we go. Let me cross over here. That's the Sears Tower. We're about 3 miles north of it. See, sometimes it looks like the Tower of Doom, like in Mordor. It's like the lidless eye, the Sauron's tower there, the Sears Tower. That little smokestack's in the way. Look, it's setting behind the smokestack. Oh, it's like the evil monster there. Look at that. It's the Sears Tower. Yeah, it's a nice neighborhood in Lincoln Park. Nice but expensive. We were like, why is it so expensive? Yeah, I think we can cut through here one way. Walk this way. So bear with me. We're gonna, yeah, the Tower of Mordor, the Tower of Doom. Here it is. So bear with me. We're walking through this parking lot. There's somebody parked here. They're pulling out. There's other people walking here. I look very conspicuous here. And but here we'll head over to Orchard Street, and we'll keep on trekking here. Houston was nice. Yeah, weather was great. Took a lot of bike rides. My brother-in-law's pool was still open. They weren't, well, actually one day my nephews went swimming. They didn't stay in the pool long. The water was real cold, but it was hot enough in December. They jumped in the pool for about a minute, and they were like, yeah, they were starting to turn blue, and they were like, well, that was enough of that. But went down to Galveston, went to River Oaks. I got reruns of all this on TikTok and YouTube. You can watch the full hour-long streams if you really want to. You might have to watch an ad. But hey, here's Orchard Street. See, there's the top of the Sears Tower here. Yeah, we'll cross the street because they still got the lights on there, so we'll wait till these cars cross. I should have crossed before. I'm just amazed at the traffic this time of the night. We got 6:11 in the PM here, Chicago, Illinois. We're on Orchard Street. We're south. We're gonna head up to Armitage, Lincoln Park, Chicago, and then we just check out the people still have their Christmas lights on, and it's 45 degrees in January, so this is about as warm as it gets, even though it got to 60 degrees overnight with thunderstorms. Very weird weather. But the Bears game, it's going to be 10-degree wind chills. It's going to be a fun game. Tree-lined streets, yeah, I think that helps. Yeah, the tree-lined streets. So here's there's everybody's favorite Christmas house here on Orchard Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. And you know, they decorate nicely for Halloween too. They got these big imposing columns there. Look at that. Well, you see how this is, you know, this is a tear down rebuild. They got the garage with the neo-traditional, simplified, postmodern, neoclassical. Very elegant, yeah. Very nice looking. Yeah. See how it lights it up there. Let's cross the street here so we can get it across the way. It's so nice. We got to film it twice. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. You know, I started coming to Chicago in 1994. We took a high school trip up here to the Art Institute. I went to high school in Indiana, and so, you know, and then I was impressed with the city. You know, we saw the downtown. We went to Ed DeBevick's, all that, and went to Water Tower Place. And that's about. You know, I did see. We drove out to Dan Ryan because we went back to Indiana, and I saw all the Robert Taylor homes and the Stateway Gardens, and I think I saw the Henry Horner homes and Cabrini Green. Well, when I moved to Chicago, Cabrini Green was all up until 2010, 11, and I moved here in 1999. But then when I was in college, we would come up to Chicago 97, 98, 99. I came up here several times, and I didn't know what I was doing. So, you know, a lot of people know. That's why people are like, did I grow up in Chicago? No, I grew up a country boy in Indiana, but I moved to the big city. Just like Larry Appleton and Perfect Strangers. You know, I didn't have a cousin Balky to move in with, or some long lost relative showing up on my doorstep from Europe. Here's so you know, a lot of people, they go to college, a Big Ten college. They move to Chicago. They think they're big shit because they couldn't make it in New York or LA, but you can make it in Chicago. So you move to Lincoln Park, and then, you know, you go out drinking, you meet your future spouse, then, you know, you get your first starter condo in the city, and then you realize how much taxes are and your money pit, and you get a kid, and you're like, we can't swing it. Do we want our kids to go to expensive private school? We can't afford it. Public schools, people are like, nope, let's move to the suburbs. And a lot of people just move back to the states they came from. I had so many of my friends, they came from Kansas City, you know, Ohio, other places, and they would come to Chicago, get married, and then they move back to Kansas City and get a big suburban house on a golf course, which is great. You know, they made a bunch of money. Their housing value doubled. They're retired now. You know, it's great. I chose to stay in the city and be poor, like Jerry Seinfeld, living in a little one bedroom, because I thought that, you know, I was an adult in the 90s. I remember what it was like before the internet. You know, it was fun. now I'm on it all the time. Oh my God! Here's Orchard Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Thanks for tuning in. How's everybody doing? Hey, Christmas lights. So I'm just gonna head back home. We got 6:16. This is normally the time I just walk home from work. We'll take it easy tomorrow. Watch that Bears game. I'm sure there'll be other Chicago live streamers streaming. Like I said, I might stream a little in the morning on my way back from brunch. Late morning, not early. Here's Orchard Street. Yeah, I think there's, yeah, they looks like they took the Santa down. So this was the house that had the Santa. At least we got reruns of it. There's one other house decorated here. This is Orchard Street. So we'll walk back through Oz Park, and then we'll just head home. Park in Fullerton. Yeah, brickwork even on the sidewalks. The herringbone, pattern. Hey, this is one of those tear down rebuilds. Look, it's multiple lots here. Lincoln Park, huge, giant, true mansions here. Think of what the real estate taxes are. There goes my Porsche. Yeah. Very posh, very posh. Yeah, look at the sidewalks. Yeah, look at even the building comes out to the sidewalks. They redid the whole sidewalks in front of it. Spare no expense. Yeah, Astor's and Fifth. The Chateaus. Gramercy Park. Give me the keys to Gramercy Park, New York. Oh yeah, Galveston had a lot of brick on their sidewalk. Galveston's a nice, historic, quaint little beach town. I liked it. They got the cruise ships coming there. They got the same problem as Chicago. They got a beach that kind of has to have little break walls in it, and then it has to have a big highway next to it. So, but there's the Pleasure Pier, which is like their Navy pier, but you got to pay to go on that one. And they got some nice hotels, palm trees. They planted a lot more palm trees there after the last hurricane. Yeah, so we'll head over to Howell Street, and where this is Armitage again. We're across. This is Lincoln Park High School. So there's that green security. That's the private security that protects all those mansions we just walked by. So hey, they know me. How you doing? And they're like, look at that jerk. Filming other people's Christmas decorations. Yeah, it's nice. So yeah, if you ever, my big fat Greek wedding, her heartthrob there, the guy she ends up marrying, and my big fat Greek wedding set in Chicago. He taught at Lincoln Park High School in the movie there. And it's a real high school. Oz Park's on the other side. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah, technology is frightening. It's the reason the stock market never goes down. Just concentrates more power in the people that already have all the money, and then they just use it to dominate the planet. Force candidates down our throat. I think J.D. Vance is a robot. No, I'm joking. Hey, did you see that video with the wax museum, the abandoned wax museum? It was all AI, but it was so realistic, and it was freaky. And then they get to Kash Patel when he blinks. Like his wax figure, he blinks. It's freaky. It's really freaky. There's two of them. They did such a great job. I'm sure you probably stumbled across it. I think I got it reposted. There, we're gonna cross Armitage here. Wait to the. Make sure the car stops here. They're good. So hey, we'll head up Armitage and Howell, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Texas, how you doing there? Houston, Texas, Dave. Yeah, see, I was just down in Houston. I was in River Oaks. I got a rerun. Went to Galveston. My sister lives not in the Woodlands, but near the Woodlands, like Spring, like the other side of the highway. And it's amazing. Yeah, we went to Fort Worth Stockyards, Dallas, and weather was amazing. You guys had you probably still have 80 degrees. It was 80 degrees Christmas, and it was 80 degrees this week in Houston. It's nuts. Summertime. Felt like summertime. Galveston was nice. It's a little cooler, 70. They get foggy and have red tide this time of the year sometimes. Stalker, yeah. People are like, show your face. This will keep them away. Ah! I like, you got to understand from my perspective, because I'm one of the rare people, the only other people that probably share this is like radio people on the radio, that they're known for their radio voice. I consider it like a radio station, so on my live stream, you just hear my voice. People would recognize my voice, and they didn't know what I looked like, but they knew it was me because they would hear my voice and see me with the live streaming. They're like, that must be the guy. And they're often shocked by my appearance, especially in wintertime, because I'll have like icicle mustache and look like a Cornelius from the Yukon Cornelius from the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer claymation. Hey, there it is, right there. Hey, they still got the snowman there. Yeah, they did light all that up, but they got it turned off. So people are starting to dismantle the Christmas decorations. That's even the one with all the Christmas trees. They had 5 of them turned off, and so here we'll head up to Oz Park here. Yeah, thanks, John. Yeah, I'm begging for change. Hey, John, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thanks to gift there. Justice, yeah, we'll read that. Justice for Renee Good from Minneapolis. Thanks, John. What a nice message there. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing that in my, I saw posters of it. Darren Monroe posted it too. Justice for Renee Nicole Good. And then more footage came out, but it just, no one's going to change their mind. Everybody's got their mind made up. Either you're going to believe the lie, want to believe the lie, or believe the other side. And it's a tragedy either way. It's nothing we should celebrate. I hope someone's held to account for it, because why do you shoot 2 more times? Did he miss the first time? Why? Okay, what? I'm not even going to go there. That's not why. That's not honoring her memory. And thanks, John. And this is the disturbing thoughts we're all having now in this scary America. Happy Halloween. Here's hey, so they got tennis courts here. This is Oz Park. We're north of the Lincoln Park High School here. Came from Eli. Hey, looks like Brooklyn. Yeah, Chicago. Amethyst, yeah. It's bad luck to leave them up after January. Yeah, because January 6th is at the 12th day of Christmas. On the 12th day of Christmas. See, yeah, they leave these up. They've left this Christmas tree up in Oz Park until March some years. For some reason, they leave this tree on. So we'll document it. We'll see how long it goes this year. Some dogs. See, there's ball fields here. Yeah, Lincoln Park High School's there. We just walked up Halstead's that way. Larrabee's that way. We got 45 degrees here, Chicago, Illinois, Oz Park, north of Lincoln Park High School. We'll walk over to Webster here. Hey, thanks, John. Thanks. Yeah, Justice for Renee Good from Minneapolis. Yep. Very nice. Yeah, that's a nice tree. That looked like that tree could be in the Wizard of Oz, Oz Park. So, of course, there's the Dorothy statue over there. The Cowardly Lion's over there. You can see beyond the tree there, that's the John Hancock in the 900 North Michigan. It's about 2 miles away, mile and a half, I don't know. But I hope everybody has a good weekend there. We'll enjoy the Bears game. Be a nail biter. St. Patrick's Day, you're right, because it's so dark. I agree with you, one golden Nubian. That's why I'm glad they leave them up on Michigan Avenue at least till the end of January, and I'm fine if they keep them up to February. They just got to get them off before the trees start budding out, and that's not till May. No, I'm joking. Sometimes in April. But there's some people screaming over there. Let's go head towards the noise, see what's happening. But yeah, I saw who sent that? Shauna or something? Yeah, Shauna. Our friend, Healthcare Should Be Free. He was on Michigan Avenue holding up a sign for Renee Nicole, Justice for Renee Nicole Good, and I saw he was down. They did march the night after it happened. He's very active. So thanks for sending that, Shauna. And we would have ran into him. I would have said hello to him. I would have walked right by there. Often, anytime I go up Michigan Avenue, I see him standing there. I say hello, and he talks to us, which is nice. The healthcare should be free. He's a social justice activist, and very dedicated. Very dedicated. I commend him for his dedication. Here's Geneva, Larrabee, Lincoln. Here's the Tin Man. So there's the Scarecrow. I didn't even film the Scarecrow. I'm kicking myself. So yeah, see where that woman's at. There's the Scarecrow, which she's I think she had some, she was doing something there. So maybe it's good I didn't do it. See John Kearney on the back here. John Kearney was the artist of the Tin Man. This is the Tin Man sculpture in Oz Park, Lincoln Park, Chicago. And it's at Larrabee, Lincoln, and Webster. There it is, the Tin Man, Oz Park. What a great statue here. And it's made out of chrome car bumper parts, which is what John Kearney was known for. And here we'll head over towards this Target. There's Lincoln. Oh, how you doing? There's this tree, but this tree, they keep this tree lit. Yeah, good morning. Good likeness. Yeah, it's very nice. Hey, we got the light. Let's go this way. So I'm gonna go home, cook me some dinner, get some ice cream, veg out, and yeah, if I do any streaming tomorrow in the AM, it'll be like after 10 o'clock probably, from like Lakeview, walking back through the park or something. But we'll see what the weather's like. I think it's supposed to eventually start raining at some point tomorrow, and then going to change to a wintry mix, and then like snow. But it might not. It might still be raining at game time, which is going to be nasty. You know, it's going to be a nasty, cold game. Yeah, I don't know what I'm cooking. I'll figure it out. I bought some stuff at Mariano's. I got some good stuff, and we'll figure it out. Yeah, Susie, how you doing there? One Gold Nubian, Jack James. Good morning, Bobby Joshton. How you doing? Yeah, Christmas decor to stay up till St. Patrick's Day because it gets so dark in the wintertime. That's exactly it. Yeah, Grandma's Corner. Yeah, thanks for the peaceful walk. Good, thank you. Yeah, I'm just trying to state the facts. I'm not trying to get, you know how I could get emotional and start yelling and screaming and everybody thinks, but I'm just passionate. Just passion, you know. It's just, I get excited. People, I can talk about urban planning that way. I'll start screaming and yelling about, you know, Lewis Mumford or something. They'll be like, shut up. Did you read The Power Broker? Here's Webster Street. Hey, we're almost home. We're back to Cleveland. I'm always back to Cleveland. Either Cleveland, Sedgwick, or Clark. We always end up on those streets. Funnels us in. Yeah, this is the United States of America. So we're in Chicago, which is in the state. It's a city in the state of Illinois, which is one of the 50 states within the United States of America. And we're on this planet called Planet Earth, Milky Way galaxy. We'll start singing the Monty Python astronomy song. Astronomy don't mind. Wiki Pete's. Susie Yum. Yeah, we'll do like, yeah, see how muddy it is? So this is how much rain we got. And it was, that's why I didn't walk this morning or last night, because yeah, I saw videos where some of the storm drains got clogged, and it was like up, it was, the cars were like a foot deep in water, and it was messed up. Oh, Canada. Yeah, the 51st state. Yeah, I thought Canada was going to be the 51st state. I didn't realize it was going to be Venezuela. That's a bad joke, I know. Hey, welcome to America. You never know what you're going to get. You wake up one morning, Trump will be like, we invaded the Vatican. We seized it. They didn't defend themselves. The Swiss Army stood down. We cut a deal with the Swiss Army. They gave us the Vatican. So we're going to use it to control Italy. I'm joking. Here's, look. This is on Cleveland Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. They still got the Christmas decorations out. Better Homes and Gardens here. Looking nice. They got the garden apartment stoop. 2200 block of Cleveland Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Yeah, we're just, look at this creature. Nice sculpture. It's like straight out of Beetlejuice. Yeah. Hey, I hope you have a good weekend. Go Bears. I posted that Staley rerun there on TikTok. And it's on YouTube now, too. It's Staley the Bear. We caught him at Michigan Plaza. That was last season. The Jesse White tumblers were there. They were doing somersaults. Whoever does Staley did such an excellent job. He was totally in character the entire time. He was on TV. And he interacted with me and other people, you know, just like we were the TV show host. It was amazing. And, you know, here, look at all this mud. It's a big mud slick. All the leaves clogging everything. That's why there's still leaves. That's why, yeah, people are still raking leaves. Drinks? Yeah, we'll get to get some beer. We'll get pissed drunk. Oh, yeah, I saw some of his reruns. Ernie was in the rain. I was like, yeah, you good, you know. I'm glad he covered it so I didn't have to. I was laying on the couch. I heard the rain hitting the window. It was blowing. It's like a typhoon. Here, look at these window bays. Hey, have a good weekend there. Have a good night. If you missed any of this, you can check out the rerun. We saw some Christmas decorations and saw some nice residential architecture here in Lincoln Park, just stooling around. But yeah, we'll have a nice groovy dinner. Watch that Bears game tomorrow and get a nice brunch. Hang out with my architect friends. You can imagine the political roundtable we're going to have if we're discussing all these world events. We're going to make sure there's not bugs under the table tapping. We can't discuss it on the internet because they're scraping our cookies. I got the tinfoil on my head. I'm ready to go. I got my escape plan. I'll go live in the woods. I'll tap into my ancient Melungeon heritage. Have a Melungeon winter. Where's Beldon Cleveland here, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Hey, see, look at all the muck here. This is all from the flooding last night. Yeah. There, go. There's the trying to get across the muck here. Yeah, I heard the radio's coming out of the UPS there. So yeah, look at this was all flooded. That's why this is all muddy here. This is Beldon and Cleveland Street. Look at this muck. Yeah. Hey, they still got some bows there. How you doing? Yeah, look it up. It's a real thing, Melungeon. It's Appalachian early colonial ancestry that doesn't come through England. It comes through the Spanish Empire. There was Spain attempted colonies in the 1500s. St. Helena, the Luna expedition, they actually went up to the Appalachians because they were shipwrecked. There was a hurricane that destroyed their ships. A year, 2 years later, they evacuate the Spanish, but they didn't evacuate all the enslaved people, which include some of people from North Africa, like Angolans from like sub-Saharan Africa that were enslaved by the Spanish Empire, and these Middle Eastern people, which they think they're either Turkish or because or Moors. It was the Islamic Christian wars in Spain, the battle for the Iberian Peninsula, and they were enslaved during that period. They shipped them over to work in South America. Someone went through Cartagena, but then they tried to, or Veracruz, and then they tried to settle what became the continental United States. St. Helena was in like where Parris Island, Georgia. There's an archaeological site there. This is, St. Helena was settled around the same time St. Augustine. So most people do consent that St. Augustine's the oldest still existing settlement. It's not Jamestown and it's not the Mayflower. There was 100 ships that went to Jamestown before the Mayflower. We talk about this, but Melungeons went up and intermixed with the Native Americans, they thought of themselves as Indians by the time, and most of them called themselves Cherokee, even if they weren't part of the Cherokee Nation, because it just meant they were here before the English came. And they called themselves Portuguese. But not all of them are Native American. Some of them are African American. Some of them are white. Some of them are triracial. Some of them have red hair and blue eyes. Some of them have dark skin and look Native American. Some of them look African American. Some African Americans are Melungeon, look straight up African American. I look like straight up a white guy. I don't look like an Indian. But I have a great grandmother that looked very Native American. I show pictures up to my Spanish friend. She says, hey, she looks like she's from Mexico. So she's from Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky, where a lot of Melungeons into it. But hey, look it up. It's a Wikipedia article. It's a real thing. And it's a way for me to connect with my distant indigenous ancestry. So hey, have a great rest of your evening here from Chicago. We'll leave you here from Lincoln Park. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Go Bears. And we might talk to you tomorrow morning on TikTok. We'll see. And no pressure there. British Columbia, Canada. They had Grandma's Corner. Thanks for tuning in. One Gold Nubian, Jack, James, Krista. I don't know if Anita was on. I need to reach out to Anita. Talk to her. Happy New Year there. See how she's doing. Let's see. What do we got here? Thanks, everybody here. So, Mama Goo. Okay, we'll see y'all later. Thanks, John, for the gift, and thanks, everybody else. Have a good evening. We'll see you Monday morning. We'll get back into our normal schedule here. Good to be back in Chicago. We'll talk to you later. Thanks a lot. Good night.